Ever wondered what happens when you put a bunch of rats in a perfect environment? Let's take a journey back in time to the intriguing experiments conducted by a researcher named Calhoun, famously known as Calhoun's rat Utopia experiment. Picture this, a world where rats have unlimited food, endless water, and complete protection from the perils of predation. The only catch? A fixed, limited space designed to mirror our very own human city dwelling. In this seemingly utopian setup, the rat population initially flourished, growing rapidly. But a peculiar thing happened. The population hit a plateau, failing to reach the maximum capacity that the space could accommodate. This wasn't just a one-off incident. Multiple experiments showed the same pattern. A promising start, followed by a stagnation in growth. Sounds like the okay life, right? But things took a dark turn for the worse. I wonder if you can guess what happened next in Calhoun's rat Utopia? So what went wrong in this so-called utopia? After the population plateaued, the social order began to crumble. The rats, who while growing in number lived harmoniously, turned into every shade of monster you can think of. Psychopathic attacks, gang rape, homosexuality, preening in cells, infant abandonment, self-mutilation, and suicide became the norm. The emotional toll was staggering, particularly for the rodent mothers and their pups. The mothers, burdened by the chaotic environment, began neglecting their young. The few pups that survived this abandonment trauma grew into devastated adults, exhibiting narcissistic manipulativeness, homosexuality, or psychopathically tendencies, or becoming autistic and depressed loners. Many even fell into a deep depression, resorting to self-harm such as biting off their own tails or refusing to eat or drink, essentially committing suicide. The environment of confinement played the only significant role in shaping this disturbing behavior. The rats were reacting to their desperate situation, trapped in a space that no longer resembled a utopia but a claustrophobic nightmare. The utopia quickly transformed into a living hell for these poor creatures, and in time every single rat died. So what can we learn from this horrific scenario? As we look at Calhoun's rat Utopia experiments, we see a stark warning for our own species. The key takeaway here is that when resources are limited, particularly one's own space, society can quickly descend into chaos, leading to violent antisocial behavior and even self-destruction and extinction. Calhoun suggested that to avoid such a grim fate, humanity should invest more in space travel and continually develop new towns and cities. Expanding our horizons, both literally and figuratively, could help us evade the societal breakdown observed in the rat utopia. If we fail to heed this warning, we risk creating an environment that inflicts anxiety, violence, and ultimately, societal collapse, just like in the rat utopia experiment. The potential implications are grave if we don't understand and act upon these findings. Let's not make the same mistakes as the rats in Calhoun's experiment. Our utopia doesn't have to end up as a living hell. All we have to do is keep the human population growing